Sir, we are live.
A very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you who join us live on YouTube for the launch of our one-year global MBA program in business analytics. My name is Mayank Thondial, and I'm a professor and dean at Jindal Global Business School at OP Jindal Global University. I would like to begin by welcoming our founding Vice Chancellor, Professor Siraj, under whose guidance and support, JGBS has gone from strength to strength over the last 12 years. I'm also delighted to welcome our registrar, Professor Sridhar Patnaik, who has played an important role in the successful launch of this MBA program and continues to help and support the B School in its capacity as the registrar of JGU. Today, we have a power-packed panel of top industry professionals who will be providing their valuable inputs on the key industry needs of business analytics talent. We have with us Dr. Swaminathan Mani, who is the Vice President and Head Analyst and Advisor Relations, Tech Mahindra. We have Dr. Lavnish Chanana, who is the Head of Government Affairs, SAP Asia Pacific in Japan, and also the Chairman of the ITS Council of ASSOCHAM India. We have Mr. Aviral Mathur, who is the Head of Data Science Digital News at Hindustan Times Media. We also have Ms. Anupama Raju, who is the Head of Corporate Communications at UST. I would also like to welcome the JGBS faculty members, Professor Pawan Gandok, who's our Vice Dean Outreach, Professor K.K. Pandey, Dr. Meenakshi Tomar, who is our Associate Dean, one-year MBA, Dr. Deepak Sangroy, who's the Associate Professor Marketing, Mr. Vikram Singh Thoma, who's the Director of Admissions at JGBS, who all have been instrumental in the conceptualization and design of the one-year MBA program. A warm welcome to all the other faculty and staff colleagues of JGBS and also other schools of JGU. I would also like to welcome all the students of the Jindal Global University and other universities who join us live on YouTube today for this launch. Businesses increasingly rely on data and its analysis to support strategic decisions across the board, from product development to marketing and sales, operations, and even customer service. So as technology becomes more pervasive and established practices become obsolete, the industry is in need of individuals who can combine business and technology aspects. So as a business professional, MBA graduates must understand the critical role that business analytics, that is the analysis of data to make effective business decisions, plays in optimizing the operations and establishing the competitive advantages for organizations. Our one-year global MBA in business analytics is a delicate mix of management and analytics-driven courses, which will significantly enhance the understanding of its participants in managing, maintaining, and working with data to draw business-critical decisions. This high-impact one-year MBA program will be co-delivered by top industry practitioners and our research-active in-house faculty members, ensuring cutting-edge content in our MBA classrooms. Through our collaborations with SAP as part of the University Alliances program and Amazon Web Services Academy, and a number of top data analytics industry practitioners who will be closely involved in designing and delivering the courses in our MBA classrooms. The participants of this one-year global MBA program will develop cutting-edge knowledge and competencies in the field of data analytics applied by the business industry. Our partnership with the Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania offers an unparalleled opportunity for the one-year MBA students to not only experience a top-ranked American business school, but in the process, acquire the advanced business knowledge, interpersonal and analytical skills, which are needed to analyze, to negotiate, and to make bold decisions and lead their organizations to success. Our one-year global MBA would not only prepare its participants for a great career in the rapidly growing area of business analytics, as per NASSCOM estimates that the big data analytics sector will be a $16 billion sector by 2025. But this program will also provide a solid return on investment. On that note, I would now like to welcome our founding Vice Chancellor, Professor Siraj Kumar, for his opening remarks. Thank you. Over to you, Professor Kumar.
Thank you very much, Mayank. And let me take this opportunity to extend my heartiest congratulations to the Jindal Global Business School for the launch of the one-year global MBA in business analytics. I want to extend my warm welcome to Dr. Swaminathan Mani, Mr. Aviral Mathur, Ms. Anupama Raju, and Dr. Lovnish Chanana for their presence and participation in this launch. I also want to thank and appreciate the truly visionary leadership of Professor Dr. Mayank Daundial, the Dean of Jindal Global Business School, under whose leadership the business school has grown from strength to strength and has become one of the leading institutions focusing on a range of areas within the larger rubric of business studies and management studies. I also want to thank my other colleagues, Dr. Meenakshi Tomar, Mr. Vikram Singh Tomar, and of course, our registrar, Professor Sridhar Patnaik, and Professor Dr. Tej Pavan Gandok, the Vice Dean of Outreach and New Offerings at JGBS, for their presence and participation in this event. In fact, I'm very delighted that we are launching this program now, because the last 2 years has been an extraordinarily challenging year for businesses around the world, including in India. While the richest people of the world were able to increase their wealth, the fact of the matter is a lot of small business enterprises and other businesses have suffered quite significantly, and the suffering continues unabated into a large measure. Under these circumstances, it's important for us to recognize that universities and business schools have a very important role and responsibility, which is to be able to create new opportunities for creating knowledge and ideas. And one such idea, the time of which has come some time ago, but its impact has been less understood and appreciated till recently, which is the study of business analytics. In fact, the history and origins of business analytics, if it were to be examined, we should recognize that it's not something that is of very recent origins in terms of what people understood as business analytics. Way back in the 1800s, there were people who were using data, particularly with regard to bankers, doing their own analysis. And famously, there were authors who described that type of work with regard to intelligence gathering in relation to staying ahead in a market context. This was, of course, largely used with regard to financial professionals. There is a book written by Richard Miller Devens, who talked about a very distinguished banker by name Sir Henry Furness. He was obviously referring to the fact that Furness would be able to collect data much earlier, much before, and provide empirical evidence. And I'm talking about 1800s, long before computers and internet and things like that. In its later avatar, the business analytics all through the 1800s was known as scientific management, the idea of bringing scientific principles into the decision-making process. It expanded its own evolution. Scientific management was commonly used in the United States, and it had application in other sectors, including manufacturing sector. Of course, today we have gone, miles ahead, and the new avatar of business analytics has provided phenomenal opportunities for businesses to completely reimagine the way they're functioning. It has added even greater value with artificial intelligence and robotics and machine learning, all of which are contributing to creating new opportunities for advancing and understanding data, and even developing new forms of data analytics and the use of it within the business context. So we are particularly very delighted at OP Jindal Global University and Jindal Global Business School to be able to offer this program at a critical juncture when businesses have to re-examine and re-evaluate their functioning and to prepare themselves for a future that is going to be even more volatile and uncertain. I also want to mention that the Jindal Global Business School is an extraordinary institution that has grown from its very modest origins in 2010 as the second school of the university. We started off with the MBA program with 60 students, and today the Jindal Global Business School has nearly 1,000 students across its undergraduate, postgraduate, masters, and PhD programs. And the strength of the business school clearly is its faculty, who are outstanding scholars, researchers, and people who have had extensive experience both from academia and industry, who are part of that institution. I'm not surprised at all. The three of the panelists who are here today, at least two of them are currently pursuing the doctoral program at the Jindal Global Business School with its outstanding faculty, who are also truly amazing researchers. Within the university, the Jindal Global Business School is at the forefront for promoting research and knowledge creation and publications. Year on year, the business school faculty members have been creating new frontiers when it comes to research publications in Scopus-related articles. And that's something which we are very proud of. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the Jindal Global Business School and its faculty, and of course its dean and others for essentially being the torchbearer for research within the OP Jindal Global University. For those of you who are not fully familiar with the university, I must give you a little bit of a larger context to the university. OP Jindal Global University is a multidisciplinary university with 12 different schools in law, business, international affairs, public policy, liberal arts, journalism, architecture, banking and finance, environment and sustainability, and more recently, psychology and counseling, languages and literature, and the last school that we established, the Jindal School of Public Health and Human Development. We had, as a university, a very modest origin in the year 2009 with just 112 students and 10 faculty members. And today we have grown into a multidisciplinary university with nearly 8,000 students and 1,000 full-time faculty members and over 1,000 administrative staff in a fully residential 100-acre campus with over 3 million square feet of built-up space, all of which has happened in the last 12 years. As a university, OP Jindal Global University has been ranked by the QS World University Rankings as India's #1 ranked private university. Our law school is ranked #1 in India, but also 76 in the world. But more importantly, the university in its entirety has been recognized by the Government of India's Ministry of Education as an institution of eminence, a rare and distinctive recognition given to only 10 public and 10 private universities across India. And we are the only non-STEM, non-medicine university in that list, which has been given that status. So we are very delighted that we are doing this as a part of our effort to advance that initiative as well. In conclusion, I want to say that the Jindal Global Business School has been working very hard when it comes to providing the best of opportunities for its students. The collaborations that we have fostered across universities around the world, and indeed the current collaboration that has been established with the Wharton School, with the Aristide Institute of Executive Education at Wharton, University of Pennsylvania, for giving a fantastic opportunity to the students who will be enrolled in the university's one-year global MBA in business analytics, is going to create a transformative experience for the students who are going to be part of it. I do believe that knowledge and understanding of business analytics is going to become so critical in the future. It has already become. And I do believe that it is not only going to be confined to careers in investment banking and consulting and traditional businesses. There is going to be the use of this type of knowledge and experience, which are going to be across different sectors, including intergovernmental organizations, think tanks, research institutions, even government agencies, many of whom will be looking for people who have the necessary expertise in data analytics. And that's something which this particular degree program will empower our students to have. The university has also built new infrastructure, including a data analytics lab that will be also helping our students to be learning different forms of programs, which will further bolster their aspirations to have the necessary acumen to learn and to experience business analytics studies within the university. I'm delighted that we have very distinguished people who have accepted our invitation to join the launch. I want to exhort each one of them to be more closely connected with the business school and to inspire our students and share their own experiences to inspire our students to pursue the kind of opportunities and meaningful engagement as a part of this program. I also want to share with you that the students who will be enrolled in the Jindal Global Business School's 1-year MBA in data analytics will also have the opportunities to take cross-registered courses across the 12 schools of the university. We pride in the fact that we are not a standalone business school, a standalone institute of management, a standalone institute of technology. We pride in the fact that we are a multidisciplinary institution, university, with opportunities for students from every school and every program to take courses across other schools and programs. And that is one of our unique strengths. And we want to build on that strength and provide that opportunity for all our students, especially the students who are going to be pursuing the Global MBA in Data Analytics at the Jindal Global Business School. Lastly, I want to say that today it is increasingly important for us to make policies, take business decisions, create investment opportunities based on data analytics. And data becomes even more valuable if you are in a position to analyze data and help take decisions that are important in the best interest of your company and your businesses. For that to happen, you need trained individuals, students who have got formal training with a certain degree of academic and intellectual rigor and the kind of learning ecosystem that a good business school and a good university can promote. And that's exactly what the Jindal Global Business School is expected to do. And I am personally very delighted that we are launching this program at this juncture. I want to congratulate once again the Dean of Jindal Global Business School, Professor Dr. Mayank Daundial, and the entire faculty members of JGBS for their contributions and their work and their efforts in launching this new degree program. And I am very confident that very bright students from across India and even beyond are expected to be interested in this course, which I believe is going to be a transformative learning experience for all the students. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an insightful address. I now welcome Professor Dabiru Sridhar Patnaik, Registrar of OP Jindal Global University, to deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Professor Meenakshi Tomar. Good evening, everyone, in particular our distinguished guests, Dr. Swaminathan Mani, Dr. Lavneesh Chanana, Mr. Aviral Mathur, Ms. Anupama Raju, and our Vice Chancellor, Professor Rajkumar, Professor Mayank Daundial, Professor Tej Pawan Gandok, and Mr. Vikram Singh Tomar. It is indeed a moment of delight as we are launching the 1-year MBA program. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the leadership of the Jindal Global Business School, admirably led by my colleague, Professor Mayank Daundial, the Dean of the school, for starting the 1-year MBA program. The Vice Chancellor in his remarks mentioned about our coveted status as an institution of eminence. We are indeed proud of this particular status and recognition bestowed upon us by the Government of India, Ministry of Education, that created the pathway for us to become more innovative in launching new programs and new courses. And this is one such program that we are launching today, and our excitement is indeed palpable. And this also reminds me of the book written by Raghuram Rajan, entitled Third Pillar. And this MBA program that we are launching this evening is like the most important third pillar of the Jindal Global Business School's postgraduate offerings. And the timing could not have been more appropriate because we are launching this program in the aftermath of our status as an institution of eminence, and with great support from the industry and also the Wharton Business School. And significantly, the current program also builds on the excellent work which is being done by the Jindal Global Business School. So all the prospective students will only have a very good foundation based on the courses that are offered by the school, that I'm certain will help them acquire the much needed skills and competencies as rightly outlined by the Vice Chancellor. And also, importantly, this program would enable them to develop the much required professional relationships and networking. And also, it adds to their existing profile and credibility. So in essence, I would like to share with all our prospective students and the guests who have joined us this evening that this is the core philosophy of the program that captures the entire purpose. And I'm certain that the one-year MBA program will help you augment your skill sets and competitiveness at the same time. As a university, we place emphasis on quality learning opportunities. And on behalf of the university, I would like to share with all our guests and the prospective students that we are committed to the students' academic curricula and professional integration into this one-year program. And essentially, it means that you can expect, and certainly, all the support from the university that will help you to strengthen your skill sets and even your competencies. And together, I believe we can create interesting times for the reason being that the one-year MBA program, I would like to believe that we'll have the right platform for interesting times, because I assume the class of 2022 will have a cumulative knowledge and grand years of experience that will be brought in by all the candidates who would register for the program, which are going to make the classes more lively, discursive, and engaging. And to take cue from what Vice Chancellor Professor Kumar mentioned, all these things would add to the interdisciplinarity, which is the core essence of our university. And all our students who will become part of the program will have more meaningful opportunities to participate in conversations and engaging discussions with students of not only the JGBS, but also the students of all other 12 schools of the university. And that's the heterogeneity in essence, which is going to make your program more interesting. But as you go further and as you become a part of the program, I would also like to assure you the support from the Dean of the school and the Associate Dean of the one-year MBA program in terms of inducting you into the university and even sharing with you and explaining to you all the academic policies of the university and of the business school in particular, which is going to be very important. So in closing, I would like to say, please be assured of the guidance and support from the university. You all are very special and you're going to add value to the university once you become a part of the program. And this is going to be another very good addition to the one-year master's programs we have currently at the OP Jindal Global University, and those programs are being offered by the Jindal Global Law School. So it's going to be a very interesting and a very dynamic combination. And on this particular note, before I close, I would like to congratulate Dean Mayank, Associate Dean Meenakshi, Vice Dean Tej Pavan, and Director Vikram Tomar for having conceived and developed this very interesting program, which is only going to bring in interesting times, as I had just mentioned. And I also take this opportunity to sincerely thank all the distinguished colleagues who joined us this evening. And also, I am grateful on behalf of myself and all the faculty members of the JGBS to our Vice Chancellor for his constant guidance and his support to various academic and co-curricular activities of the university. Congratulations once again, and thank you very much.
Thank you for your constant support, sir. We will now begin with the panel discussion. I now invite Professor Dr. Tej Pavan Gandhok, Vice Dean Outreach at JGBS, to please start the panel discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Meenakshi. So let me, without much further ado, dive straight into the key elements of the panel discussion, because our previous speakers have certainly already laid out many interesting issues. So the theme of the panel being key industry needs of business analytics talent, I'd request Mr. Mathur, if you could help kick off the discussion by sharing with us, the conundrum, given the plethora of data analytics sort of offerings in terms of training and the number of people who sort of take up those sorts of programs, what really are, from a business perspective, some of the key unmet needs of for business analytics talent from an industry perspective?
Yeah, so having been associated with AI analytics for all my working life, right, there are certain observations, right? This is especially when I was in BCG and we were consulting with CXOs, what we realized was that most organizations do not end up making money from AI, right? Or in fact, only 10% are able to make any sort of money from AI or able to monetize AI as a skill set. And when you go deeper, what you realize is those organizations who are, when we think about value generation or value realization from AI itself, what you realize is it's only the 10% from the data science, right? 20% comes from technology, right? But 70% is from change management, the communication. How do you actually influence the senior leadership to make sure that the AI models or the analytical models that you are actually developing are advocated or adopted really in the organization itself, right? So that's the challenging part, right? And that's where the communication aspect and the inference generation, which actually impacts the business, right, comes into being, right? It's very easy actually to, I mean, as you said, that there are lots of courses, lots of things available, right, online, and you can just study and start building a model, right? But the value generation is a specific challenge, and a lot of organizations are actually facing it, right? So we need to prepare our students, right, to actually build the skill set, right, so that they are able to add value in terms of value generation from these models.
Great, thank you, Mr. Mathur, for that. So I'd like to bring Dr. Mani into this conversation now. Three issues I'd love to get your thoughts on, Dr. Mani. First of all, do you agree with Mr. Mathur as far as the key unmet need, or if you have any other thoughts on that? Secondly, and most importantly, your thoughts about what might be some key elements of a solution to this unmet need. And then thirdly, I'd love to hear your thoughts about, what is the relevance of a social sciences foundation university like JGU in attempting to solve this unmet need, as opposed to, the common perception of business analytics largely be a STEM-driven pursuit. So over to you, Dr. Mani.
Oh, wonderful. So I'll make 3 points very quickly at a headlines level. And if the time permits, we can discuss towards the end. See, one is as data science, especially business analytics, the confluence of three areas. Why companies are struggling to see value is it is just not a monolithic field. There is a strong domain component. There is a statistical model component, and there is also a tech component, a computer science. So in companies, what we have seen over the 28 years that I worked, especially off late data science have picked up, is you get one out of these three quite common in the industry. Two out of three itself is rare. We have hardly seen anyone with 3 out of 3 skills. A very strong domain, very strong statistical model, as well as a good tech understanding is extremely rare. It's almost non-existent. So you are always working with a suboptimal capability, which is where an MBA program, especially in business analytics, makes sense. As Registrar said, there is no better time than now to launch this program. This is one. And the second point, Professor, you asked is the value creation levers are changing. The 3 E's of value creation, once upon a time, it was efficiency. Only so much you can squeeze the lemon. Okay, so analytics role there is limited. The next tier is effectiveness. There, the analytics role is even more. Now, the value creation lever for companies is experience. People are talking about user experience and customer experience. When you're talking about the end consumer's experience, and there the analytics role for creating value is significantly large. Okay, it is exponentially large, coming from efficiency lever to effectiveness lever to experience lever. So since value creation lever has moved into the third E now, it is perfectly apt to launch a business analytics program, because that is where you are going to see value coming. And the last point is, increasingly, if you see, the innovation is happening at the edges, at the confluence of multiple discipline, what is known as MEDICI effect. So if you look at the top journals, any that are getting published, papers that are published in the topmost of the top tier journals in the world, you hardly see a single author anymore. It is 2 or 3 authors, and none of them have very similar background. It is a combo of a computer scientist and a computational biologist, anthropologist and psychologist and computer scientist. These are the people who are publishing papers, because that is where innovation is going to happen increasingly. And that is where in a program with access to large diverse pool of faculty, not just B-school faculty, liberal arts, law college, faculty from other discipline coming and adding value, apart from, of course, Wharton School and top industry, will make sense. So these 3 things will completely change how business analytics will be used and how companies are going to see value.
Thank you, Dr. Mani, for those wise words. And we've relied very greatly on all of the wonderful inputs you've given us in designing this program. And you'll be very heartened to know that in the design, we've certainly got people, we've got professors from our public policy school, who will be covering issues such as complexity, economics and complexity and systems thinking. We've got the dean of our arts and architecture design school covering design thinking. We've got people from eminent professors from our law school covering issues of digital competition, regulation, and whatever have you. But far be it for me, I think it's much better if we bring in the director of our one-year MBA program, Professor Meenakshi, to tell us a bit more about how this global one-year MBA program is being designed to particularly, deliver on the sorts of solution elements that Dr. Mani just articulated. Over to you, Meenakshi.
Thank you so much for this question, sir. So all of us have discussed in detail that the global data analytics market is expected to grow by 25% by 2030. Now, with this number increasing, the employer demand is also rising for the professionals, specifically who have analytics-related skills. As previously remarked by Mr. Mathur and Dr. Mani, we have significantly explored the gap in consultation with the industry. In order to bridge the gap with the help of academia, it is important to look at the essential skills required by the workforce of the future. Some of these skills also included analytical skills, technological aptitude, strategic mindset, statistical skills, to mention a few. Through the one-year global MBA program in business analytics, we do intend to provide rigorous and comprehensive academic delivery with strong industry presence and involvement in our classrooms. We have created detailed curriculum that has been developed in consultation with relevant corporate that ensures to provide knowledge to strategically align and understand new technologies through data-driven courses. JGPS has also partnered with the world-renowned the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, along with top organizations in the area of business analytics, including SAP and AWS, to deliver a world-class educational experience to ensure decision-making capabilities, therefore promising its contribution to the business community and society by enabling professionals of tomorrow with high-quality education. The business analytics subjects will dive into specific data-relevant skills and teach the students to see business issues through a business analytics lens. The students in the one-year global MBA in business analytics program will be exposed to subjects such as predictive analytics, data visualization, marketing intelligence, etc., to mention a few. The program at JGPS ensures development of business acumen, technological aptitude, analytical skills, leadership skills, statistical skills, and managerial skills, which have been fantastically weaved into the curriculum of business analytics program in different ways. The engaged and experiential learning for leadership and influencing skills ensures the development of management expertise in the soft skills area too. So that's exactly how we've undergone the design of the curriculum of this program. So,
wow, sounds like a really power-packed, fun-filled, never a dull moment kind of program for the students. So let me, unpack two of the elements that you mentioned, very important elements of this program further, and let me seek Dr. Lovneesh Chanana's inputs, particularly on this issue of the industry involvement and the importance, Dr. Chanana, of data-driven experiential learning and industry involvement. How important is that, and what are, in your experience and perspective, some of the important ways that world-class programs achieve that?
Thank you, Dr. Tej Pawan, and at the outset, again, congratulations to the entire team for this launch of this very, very interesting program. Now, to answer your question as to what exactly is industry looking at, and hence what should be the focus of a student who's joining this, let me for a moment take you to a stage where the student has passed out, and now he's being faced. He's facing the industry world. So what are we looking at him? So when he comes out or she comes out, we have a world which is now full of intelligent enterprises who are differentiating from each other in terms of competitiveness on the basis of high value tasks, leaving repetitive and routine tasks to machines. As Aviral mentioned, those things can be taken over by machines, and that's where one point that will definitely create this pull is that the whole enterprise journey is shifting to the intelligent enterprise era. Second, as he or she comes into the industry or starts working for industry, as Dr. Mani rightly mentioned, what will be differentiating is the operational data. We have been used so much now that it is no longer a kind of a differentiating factor in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. What he or she would be looking at is, how do I create value through experiential data? Now, and those who are still struggling to understand the experiential data, take the simple example of a public transport system. I have been so used to working on my mileage, my fuel efficiency, whatnot. These were my operational parameters, and I was designing, optimizing, doing this. But the world that the students will now be coming in will be characterized by that this digital optimization that we are talking about will no longer be digital transformation. The experiential data would become far more relevant. In short, from what and how, it will be moving to why. In public transport system, when I'm talking about as to my fuel, I will also be talking about there is no bus connectivity to my house. The buses are not clean. The consumer experience through the digital part would become the basis of road charging, would become the basis of my route planning, and that will be something that you will be. The third thing that the student will be coming into, and that's where the industry is moving, and that's where the point of the interdisciplinary thing that you mentioned, Dr. Tejpavan, actually comes in, is this whole embedding of my sustainability metrics into my organizational management as I move forward. So whether it's my carbon emissions, whether it's my gender inequality, whether it's my circular economy, the waste that I generate will get embedded into this, and analytics from that perspective would actually need to take care of that also. So what I'm trying to highlight is, those days of processes consuming data are over. The days of data defining processes are now in. The processes are becoming a variable commodity. What and the interdisciplinary approach, and it's why it is a management centered course that repeatedly we look for. All of us today, we know that the difference between cyber and physical in cyber physical systems is gradually blurring. So we everything is becoming cyber for that matter, and that's where the importance of the management. The example being, when I'm doing the data analytics, the whole domain of data privacy, the whole domain of data protection, the whole domain of data storage as close to my chest would require, apart from technology, a managerial and a legal and that thought process, which the students need to get a holistic input. And that's where the industry academia collaboration is the key. We define what's happening to the data. We expect students to come prepared with the skill set, not to be an expert, but at least be exposed to what would be, coming their way as they come out of this course. And that's where the need to collaborate is very, very important.
Thank you, Dr. Lovnish. You'll be very pleased to know that we've taken all of those inputs very much at heart, and a very key aspect of this program is intricate weaving in collaborations for real-world data sets, using real-world data analytics platforms and tools and certifications, and very much the action learning projects and mentoring for dealing with the messy real-world problems that you just described, where, as you said, the world's moved from descriptive to predictive. And so the need of the hour, as in other words, of what Dr. Mani was saying, the need of the hour is to go beyond maths to creating polymaths. And so that's certainly what we're trying to do. And so with that, from the Medici effects to creating future Da Vinci's, let me bring in Anupama Raju, to give us some insights about the importance of leadership and communication and influencing skills, given the nature of the challenge at hand, and what are some of the ways that this program, this one-year MBA degree program, sets out to achieve those?
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, listening to all the fellow panelists, it's been a pleasure, because the first thought that came to my mind, because I'm at heart a writer first. In my trade, the skill to connect dots becomes important. For instance, as a practitioner of poetry, I often connect dots. And that is what comes to my mind when I think of this interdisciplinary effect. When we think of this MBA in business analytics, I think that's exactly what's going to help our students do. It's going to help them take all the numbers out there, take the data, and connect these dots to make meaningful decisions. Because data without meaning remains just meaningless numbers. And I think that's where leadership comes in, because a leader is somebody who's able to meaningfully interpret data to arrive at transformative change. And that's where I think leadership and influencing skills, which will be integrated into this program, can make a difference to our students. And every organization, all of us know that, every organization, every product throws up various kinds of data. But often we get lost in these numbers without knowing what to do with them. They just remain numbers, right? So a leader is able to attribute a purpose to this data. And with the right kind of leadership skills, we are able to arrive at valuable outcomes and drive outcomes by asking the right questions using this data. How can these numbers help? What actions or decisions can be taken to bring about positive transformation? How can it help others, right? In this manner, data remains human-centric, because I think as we get into the era of advanced innovation and technology, it's all the more important to ensure that any kind of innovation or any kind of data remains human-centric. And that's where leadership can, again, come in and help us connect all these dots. Also, I think analytics can help a leader develop their teams, sharpen their problem-solving skills, ask the right questions, and also maybe make a difference to their lives by keeping their interests at heart and empowering others as well. Because I think we all know and we all agree that leadership is also about empowering others and enabling others. So data without that purpose at heart, I think, remains kind of meaningless. And that's where perhaps this program will be unique in the way it weaves in these different disciplines and connects the dots. I conclude with that particular metaphor because I think it's apt to see how we can, how we look at this interdisciplinarity of the program, where it brings in, I mean, to quote Dr. Swami, the confluence of various disciplines. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupam. I really appreciate that. And so with the picture that has been painted thus far, let me come back to Professor Meenakshi, because the ask here is clearly for superhumans. We're asking and expecting people, clearly they need to have some reasonable amount of industry work experience to have the beginning of the domain knowledge and the baseline platform to be able to make the career trajectory leap post the program. But we're looking here for poets and quants and dreamers and storytellers, clearly the cream of the crop, and who have the high opportunity costs to benefit and appreciate and value the superior ROI of a one-year program. But after going through this incredible rigor of the one-year program, what's the light and the size of the prize at the end of that tunnel, Professor Meenakshi? What are the kind of career opportunities and job profiles that, you know, this kind of program graduates can look forward to, if you could shed some light on that?
Thank you for the question, sir. So be it a marketing function, be it a finance function, whether we need data about customers or about investment decisions, there are many employers who recognize the importance of data-driven skills, and they are looking for professionals who are familiar with concepts and hands-on experience of business analytics. So the kind of roles that we expect over here include business intelligence analyst, management consultant, big data analyst, business research analyst, to mention a few. They, of course, expand into various management functions also, such as operation analyst, supply chain analyst, investment analyst, again, to mention a few. Now, one can expect a higher salary, better job prospects, and new career options, of course, after going through this regular course and curriculum that we offer in this program.
Thank you, Meenakshi. Let me, come back and request both Mr. Mathur and Dr. Charana to give some thoughts and inputs to this question about, in your opinion and experience, what are the key differentiators? What are the key skills that distinguish the higher paid, not only the higher starting pay, but more importantly, the faster trajectory, the faster rising career trajectories? What distinguishes those who are able to progress faster in this business analytics, field and career versus, the more steady plodders, so to speak? So perhaps, Dr. Charana, if you would like to go first, and then I'll come to Ms. Mathur on that.
If if I could have generalized that, it would have been a standard off-the-shelf offering prescription for anybody to get more money. But but at the same time, some skills that will surely differentiate is developing the right kind of domain skills in the sector that because ultimately whatever we may say, one size fit all will not work. So for whatever you may say, your domain expertise will surely come into this as the foundation for your skill. Second, this kind of a profile would surely require some element of soft skills in addition to technical skills. More importantly, the visualization, the presentation skills of would be, and the communication in terms of the storytelling and providing the right kind of perspective of the outcome that a professional has drawn. That will make a lot of impact in terms of actually, because data analytics is a field where you can go for ages and you can do anything. At the end, the prioritization skills are far more important in terms of what I'm looking at, and that should determine. So that is the second skill that I feel typically works. And third, as I see, this particular skill set will surely require people skills more than anything else, right? Because ultimately, whatever the input that I am getting in from data is from users. What I am providing and working with them is for users. The value that I am adding is for users, and that's where the validation, hence the interpersonal skills from a soft perspective. And I'm not even getting into the technical skills, which I presume the course will take care of that in terms of the content coverage. But broadly, if you see these 3-4 areas, I think there is a scope for creating a niche differentiator for yourself in terms of getting onto a faster progression path vis-a-vis others who may focus more on developing the concepts and models and whatnot.
Thank you, Dr. Charana. So, Mr. Mathur, anything other further thoughts or points you'd like to add?
So I'll divide this into 3 parts, right? So I understand. So I think the question is pretty clear, right? That how does one progress, so to speak, faster, right? Who are the water walkers, to actually people who are actually adding incremental value, right? How do you actually build and become like a water walker and move very fast in your career, right? So one is that you obviously need hard technical skills, right? That's hygiene. Many people are available at this point of time. When I look at the job market, when I look at, I mean, there are so many people who apply to, for example, the roles that I have been, I mean, I've seen so many people who have progressed, who have not progressed, right? So one is that technical skills are just hygiene, right? I mean, that won't take you very far. The second part is people who are progressing more beyond that technical skills are people who are who have the right attitude, right? In terms of experimentation, right? They don't get bogged down. They obviously constantly seek answers, seek questions from the, seek answers from the data. They're constantly experimenting, right? The data science itself and business analytics is a very iterative field itself, right? So you have to keep learning, seek answers, and keep improving every day, right? The solution that you're building. So that is a given, that you need to be experimental. You need to not get bogged down. Even if you are not finding success, you constantly keep striving to improve the solution you're developing further. And then the winners, the real winners, are able to articulate and answer the so what in a very effective way, right? So why are you building this? How will the value come in terms of what was mentioned, right? In terms of prioritization, what should we be attacking? And how will we generate value from the data science models or whatever we are trying to build, right? How will the value come, right? So the so what becomes so critical, and people who are able to generate that value or answer that are going to be the ones who are going to be the winners in this field. That I've already seen happening. So that would be my guidance to aspiring students in this field.
Thank you, Mr. Mathur and Dr. Charana. So there you have it. It's sort of this interesting combination. The winners in the faster trajectory is this depth of domain knowledge, superior cognitive skill set in terms of the superior problem solving ability or getting to really more valuable and meaningful insights, and then this this set of human skills in being able to weave the story, influence people to move to action on that insight, be able to convince them of that insight and move to action. The domain knowledge aspects clearly have to be a given as an input point and something that one would build over time. That's not perhaps something that we can posit as a key strength that, you know, 1-year MBA program we could build. That's something that people have to bring to the table and keep working on. But perhaps, Anupama, if I could come back to you on, you know, how do people go about building these latter two skills, this problem solving, synthesis, dot joining capability, as well as this this sort of set of communication and influencing skills? What are some of the tricks of the trade to achieve that? Clearly, it's not about sitting in a classroom and jotting down notes and regurgitating. There's elements of praxis to this. What are some tricks of that trade for these two areas?
Well, Pavan, there's really no trick. It's you know, it all goes back to basics. And that, in my view, I think it's about maintaining a certain curiosity your entire life. If without that curiosity, you cannot have a learning mindset. And without having a learning mindset, you cannot ask questions. And without asking questions, you cannot analyze anything, let alone solve problems. So in order to specifically develop, you know, the ability to go into the how of something, as Aviral was mentioning, for instance, I think constantly developing a set of, a kind of critical thinking mindset, you know, asking the whys, the hows, the basic questions, those fundamentals. That's why I say fundamentals, because if the fundamentals are not in place, no matter how much we build, you know, it's all going to crumble one day. So as students, as professionals, I'm sure all of us adhere to this philosophy as well. And, you know, when we are open to something, when we ask, we always find the answers. The answers are always out there. I know it sounds a little too philosophical at this point, but without that curiosity, we wouldn't be able to develop any kind of critical thinking. So I think it's, you know, I remember in the organization I work in, we used to have something called a critical thinking toolkit. It basically had a set of questions that you simply applied to any area in life. So I think it really helps us analyze, you know, problems at home, problems in the workplace, and it comes in handy in any kind of situation, any kind of resolution. So I think it
absolutely
comes down to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As I jokingly say, dimag ki batti jalani zaruri aur wo Mentos khane se nahi jagti. So I appreciate that point very much. So let me come back to Dr. Swaminathan for the, you know, a final comment. Given everything we've just heard about that, the quant skills are a must, they're a given. That's an important platform, but then the differentiator is all of these so-called human and cognitive skills, leadership and communication skills. I'd love to hear your thoughts about, you know, this question about how important is a BTech or an engineering undergrad? How important is that versus the ability to have strong, demonstrate strong quantitative skill sets, even if you have, you know, done some other undergrad? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so quants minus engineering undergrad is good enough. Any background, see, ultimately engineering sort of validates a person to be very strong in quant. So having an engineering probably sort of gives that confidence more than anything else. So if a person from any other, suppose somebody is a BSc, MSc Math, that person has a very strong quant background that is as good as a good engineering background, number one. And many of the softer skills for someone to succeed here, first is to build analogical thinking, not analytical thinking. Analytical thinking is table stakes today. Analogical thinking, ability to see patterns in seemingly disparate data, disparate scenarios. So that is a muscle that can be built. And second one is a very compelling storytelling skills. Okay, and I have spoken to several people who are A quality storytellers. Is it nature or nurture? And pretty much 100 out of 100 of them told it is nurture. They were not born. Many of them were introverts. They were very scared to go speak in public. They were very scared to speak with the strangers, but they're all A-quality storytellers. They nurtured it. It's a muscle that can be built, which is where students who join this program should leverage the liberal arts and other schools that is available in JGU, because not too many MBA business analytics schools will have this luxury of 18 different schools giving this type of softer skills. So they should do more and more. And third is, connecting the dots, as Anupama said, that is extremely crucial skill that they need to build beyond their math background is one. And also agility as a concept, fail fast, fail forward, the Silicon Valley concept of experimenting, pivoting. It's an important skill that they need to build during this one-year program, because that is what is going to make them superior, and also a bias for action. So they should not, otherwise you can keep analyzing forever till cows come home, and there is enough data to analyze, and there will be paralysis of analysis. So it is not what you are looking at, it is what you are seeing that is important. So all of us can look at the same data, but you may see something very different. So these are the skills your people need to build, and this can be built like a muscle. Just not the math skill, and engineering background is good, but it is not a very important one according to me.
Thank you. Thank you. On that note, let me wrap up this panel discussion, because I think we've gone 1 or 2 minutes over time, but it's been a stupendous discussion. Thank you so much to all the panelists, not only for this wonderful discussion, but let me also thank you once again for your immeasurable, invaluable inputs, not only in designing the program, but we are so grateful that all of you have so kindly agreed to join us as industry practice faculty in helping us deliver different components of this program. So it's just a wonderful showcase of the kind of faculty that students in this program can benefit from. So let me hand over to our Director of Admissions Extraordinaire, Mr. Tomar. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Pawan, and a very warm welcome and good evening once again to all the industry experts. As academicians, we always look up for you, because I have been often telling this in my career in the last 2 decades. There has to be an amalgamation between industry and academics. But as the Director of Admissions, I feel this is the time when change has come, and people like you who have been the stalwarts are mentioning the words very appropriately. What Dr. Mani quoted, there's a difference between looking and seeing. I learned this thing, something very interesting today, sir, from you. And obviously, I think the generation and the students should understand that they have to see the data, they do not have to look it. And I'm pretty sure with the constant support from industry, we will definitely have the right set of students to give back to the industry after 12 months. And we look forward for a very enriching support, a constant motivation to all the students whom I would be nurturing in the coming months and making for the first cohort of our long-awaited, much desired 1-year global MBA in business analytics. So on behalf of the entire JGBS fraternity and my fellow colleagues, I thank you all for taking out time, giving us insights, and all the fellow listeners who have been listening to us on YouTube live, as well as the recordings in days to come. You have the right set of advice from the people, and they are there to tell themselves. So thank you once again, and wishing you all a very great weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vikram, for the concluding remarks. As we come to the close of the launch event, I take this opportunity to thank Professor Dr. Siraj Kumar, Founding Vice Chancellor, OP Jindal Global University, and Professor Sridhar Dabiru Patnaik, Registrar, OP Jindal Global University, for their support in the launch of the program. It is my privilege to extend gratitude to Dr. Swaminathan Mani, Mr. Aviral Mathur, Ms. Anupama Raju, and Dr. Lovneesh Chanana for an insightful panel discussion. I extend heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dr. Mayank Dhondial, Dean, Jindal Global Business School, Professor Dr. Tej Pavan Gandhok, Professor and Vice Dean, Outreach and New Offerings, Jindal Global Business School, Dr. K.K. Pandey, Professor and Director, Office of Doctoral Studies, OP Jindal Global University, Dr. Deepak Sangroya, Associate Professor, Jindal Global Business School, Mr. Vikram Singh Tomar, Director, Admissions and Outreach, JGBS, for their efforts in conceptualizing one of the unique programs in the nation. I would like to take this moment to thank various administrative offices and departments for their endless support in making this launch a wonderful one. At the end, I would like to thank all the participants who joined us in celebrating this launch via the YouTube live stream. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great evening ahead.
Thank you.